Have you ever wondered why, even though you earn a decent salary, the money seems to vanish before the month ends? I have been there myself. And to explain this better, let me share the story of the Deshmukh family in Mumbai. Rajesh earns 50,000 rupees a month, yet every month ends the same way, broke and stressed. Sounds familiar, right? Before we go further, let me clarify, this is a fictional story created only for educational purposes. Any resemblance to real people is purely coincidental. But the budgeting methods I am about to share are real, practical, and something I personally use in my own life. Now that we have set the context, let us step into the everyday reality of the Deshmukh family. Imagine this, Rajesh earns 50,000 rupees a month working in IT, his wife Kavita manages the household, and their 2 kids are in school. On paper, it looks like they are doing fine. But every month ends the same way, bills piling up, money running out, and stress becoming routine. And honestly, I know many of us, including myself at one point, have felt this exact pressure. You earn enough, yet somehow it never feels like enough. One evening his wife Kavita suggested tracking every rupee, includes groceries, rent, subscriptions, even the daily tea. By the end of the month, the leaks were obvious. They realized budgeting is not about restriction, it is about awareness. When I started tracking my own expenses, I saw the same hidden drains, and it was eye-opening. Once they started tracking expenses, something important became clear. Budgeting is not just about numbers, it is about mindset. The Deshmukh family discovered 3 simple truths that completely changed the way they handled money. First, investments must always come first. If you wait until after spending, there is rarely anything left. Second, needs and wants should never be mixed. Rent and groceries are essentials, while dining out or shopping are extras. And third, personal finance is personal. There is no one-size-fits-all formula. Every family has to decide what works for them. These 3 truths became their foundation, and honestly, they are the same principles I follow in my own life. Once you understand them, every other step in budgeting feels easier. After realizing that awareness was the key, the very first step they took was tracking expenses. And honestly, this is where everything changes. They started writing down every single rupee, going in groceries, rent, subscriptions, even that daily tea. At first it felt unnecessary, but soon they saw how those tiny spends were adding up to big leaks. I have done this myself using a worksheet, and it was shocking to see how much money was slipping away unnoticed. Tracking isn't about being strict, it's about becoming aware, and awareness gives you control. Once they had clarity on where the money was going, the next step was setting clear percentages. Instead of following a rigid formula, they customized it: 30% for investments, 50% for needs, and 20% for wants. For example, on a 50,000 rupees salary, 15,000 rupees went straight into investments, 25,000 rupees covered essentials, and 10,000 rupees was guilt-free spending. I follow a different ratio myself, which suits my investments, needs and wants, and it keeps my finances balanced without feeling restricted. Now here is where things got really practical. They created multiple accounts, one for investments, one for needs, and one for wants. Salary came into a parent account, then split automatically. This way, essentials never mixed with luxuries. I have adopted this too, and it makes spending guilt-free, because I know my leisure money is already planned. It is a simple structure, but it brings so much clarity. To make sure they stayed consistent, they automated transfers. Investments were deducted first, then money flowed into needs and wants accounts. At the end of each month, they compared planned versus actual spending. I do this review myself. Sometimes I catch overspending on snacks or lifestyle. And here's the best part. It does not feel like punishment, it feels like learning. Every month you get better at managing your money. Of course, they did not want life to feel boring. They acknowledged the "you only live once" mindset, but balanced it with long-term security. Wants were planned, so enjoyment was guilt-free. This is exactly how I live. I enjoy today, but I also secure tomorrow. Smart budgeting isn't about saying no, it's about saying yes to both fun and stability. After just a few months of following this structure, the Deshmukh family started noticing real changes. Month-end stress felt lighter, because expenses were predictable. Investments became consistent since they were set aside first. And spending on wants felt guilt-free because it was planned in advance. I have seen the same in my own life. Once I started budgeting this way, money conversations shifted from worry to clarity. That is when you realize budgeting is not about sacrifice, it is about peace of mind. So why does budgeting fail for so many people? It is usually because expenses go untracked, needs and wants get mixed, and investments are treated as leftovers. The Deshmukh family's journey shows us that budgeting is less about restriction and more about awareness, prioritization, and structure. And I can tell you from personal experience, once you bring clarity into your money, confidence follows naturally. Here is the truth: budgeting is not about saying no to life. It is about saying yes to both today and tomorrow. That is the mindset I use in my own life, and it works. If this story gave you clarity, subscribe to my channel for more smart finance lessons. And if you want to check more such content, check out my blog, where I share about personal finance, insurance, mutual funds, and much more. Remember, awareness is the bridge that turns financial stress into financial clarity.